the ring back on her finger, marry it again.
Alright, man, so that was It's Almost Dry by Pusha T. I don't know a better way you can follow up Daytona, because Daytona, you know, at this point it's a like Malice, like No Malice said, it's a myth at this point. You know what I mean? It's just, you know, this thing that happened not so long ago, but you know, it's kind of been immortalized. So that was a real dope album right there. It's a great way to follow up Daytona. You give us something longer, because that was one critique people had with Daytona. You know, give us something a little longer. This is 12 songs, but I don't think Pusha T exceeds 2 verses on any song. I don't think any song exceeds 2 verses. And the songs that are longer, like this one, this 4-minute one, it's because of the music build up, a minute of music build up. And other things that happen in this album to keep it interesting. I like that Pusha T had different flows, different deliveries, because like I said earlier, this flow, this delivery thing, this is one of my main critiques of Pusha T. His whole career, really. Daytona was really only the first Pusha T album where I was hooked on it. Like, I listened to it like regularly in my rotation, and I returned to it years later. That's the only Pusha T album that's been like that. Yeah, I like the clips. I was alive when the clips was rapping. I was there when we was doing a grinding beat on the lunch tables. They got some good mixtapes, but Pusha T solo, well, I'll say this, got some good mixtapes, but back then I feel like Malice was the star of the clips. Pusha T was dope, they both necessary, but Malice was that dude. He had a better, more refined, I won't say better, he had a more refined, more polished voice, which made his bars stand out more. But like I said before, Pusha T has since adopted that, to the point where Pusha T sounds like Malice. Like, you will, if you just was only listening to the clips and then you just didn't listen to any music and then you start listening to Pusha T's new stuff, people will probably mistake that for Malice. When you listen to that last song, that outro, if you don't know there's a feature on there, you probably won't notice that there was 2 different rappers. They sound very alike, and that's because Pusha T's kind of stepped up his skill. Now I challenge you to go back and listen to Hell Hath No Fury, and just listen to that album. I'm pretty sure, again, that's the album where they're sitting on the stove, if I'm not mistaken. Go back and listen to that, and you tell me who shines more on that album. Is it Pusha T or is it Malice? It's Malice. And then you're going to hear things that Pusha T adopted, because you're going to hear how Pusha T sounded back then, and you're going to hear how Malice sounded, and you're going to hear like, okay, Pusha T changed up and he started doing X, Y, and Z. So anyway, I say that to say this is well structured album. I like the sequence of everything. I like the features, and you know, is it mind blowing? No. Some parts I was like, or jaw dropping. I really like some parts, but it doesn't have to be mind blowing. This is a really good album. It's very tough to follow up an album that is as critically acclaimed as Daytona. And structurally, I like how they did this here. 2 verses. And I say that part about Pusha T's flow, his delivery, because when you got Pusha T, if he's not changing up his voices or doing different things or flows or different deliveries, which I don't feel like he's always done, I feel like here he did it. But if you're not doing that on the album, over the course of 12, 14, 16 songs, however your album is, 40 minutes, an hour, the listener gonna get bored, especially with the, you know, Pusha T, he got his same couple topics that he bounced off. And he's good at switching those up and talking about them in new, refreshing ways. But over 14 songs, 3 verses each song, it don't matter how big of a fan you are, you're going to have to break the album apart. You're going to have to listen to it in pieces. So I feel like it was smart here, 12-song album, but it's only 2 verses on each song. Really, it's like a 30, 40-minute album. You know, I don't have the exact runtime right here. So I think that's smart, because this gives it replay value. You're more likely to revisit. Like when I was listening to it here in front of y'all, I went back and I rewound some verses and I went back. So that's a smart thing. If you watch my Boldy James Alchemist Bo Jackson reaction, tongue twister, bars. Boldy James, he's a good rapper. He has bars. He could put words together. But it's like, and the beats were fire. It's like, yo, he's kind of the rapper I'm talking about, where samey delivery, samey flow, samey content, and you want to give us 3 verses. And I appreciate the 3 verses, in 2022. A lot of people stopped doing that, like in 2011, 2012. But you want to give us 3 verses? 2 and 3 verses. Every song, you want this to be 12, 14, 16 songs? Like, bro, I appreciate the beats and the rhymes, but it's like, this causes fatigue on the listener, just having to listen to that same type of thing. And that's also why I appreciate artists like Doja Cat. Sorry to bring up all these other people in Pusha T's review, but I gotta say this. Doja Cat is someone who can give you multiple styles. So she sounds like different people on different songs. Like, you'll hear her rap and you'll hear her do the hook, and it's like, yo, is this 2 different people? So, I mean, you watch the channel, you know I'm bringing this up. But yeah, man, it's almost dry. Pusha T is a dope album. You know what I mean? If I had to rate this out of 5 stars, I don't like doing this on the first listen. Y'all saw me react to this. I didn't catch every bar. I'm gonna have to sit with this. But I get this 3.5, 4 stars. This is great. This is great. This is gonna be one of my more listened to Pusha T albums. Probably not more so than Daytona, because I listened to that so many times with it only being 7 songs. So yeah, man. I am going to go back and see who produced what. I know Kanye and Pharrell were involved. I'm under the impression that they did the whole album, but I could be mistaken. I was able to point out some Kanye beats, or beats that I thought were Kanye. And early on, I was able to point out ones I thought were Pharrell. I think I only heard Pharrell on like 1 beat, though. But anyways, be sure to subscribe if you have not already. And this is Top 5 rapwebsite.com. Peace.